Welcome back to Faeria Blitz. We're already setting up for the next match in round 3. It is going to be Jyori versus Sunekichi. This is the #1 in global rankings for Faeria World Circuit points versus number 11. And joining me is Chris.
Hey.
Whistle Flame.
Right.
So both of these players, of course, Jyori, I think he's actually streaming right now. You can watch his games from his perspective, but we'll be watching the whole thing. We'll see both players' hands and talking about it. Looks like Sunekichi is already in the lobby. Sunekichi, far and away, the #1 point holder. Let me actually look at how many points he does have. Yeah, so 343 points for Sunekichi. You can go to, by the way, you can go to esports.faeria.com and click on FWC points to see the entire list. It is fully updated. Okay, so we're already beginning here. I'm sorry?
So it's Alpha in second. Wow, that is a pretty clear difference between Sunekichi and everyone else.
Yes, 70 points. Sunekichi is 70 points ahead of the next closest player. Okay, both players are in the ban phase of the Crucible deck selection process. Looks like Sunekichi has chosen to get rid of a red deck on Jyori's side.
I like the Soul Drain choices for yellow covers. Like, someone earlier was using Prayer, which confirms it to be aggro, whereas just 30 yellow could be tempo, could be control, could be aggro. All of them play Soul Drain.
Yeah, players like to choose a card that you would expect to be in a variety of decks, like Soul Drain covers a wide range of yellow type decks, and of course you'd see like Flame Burst or Cypher's Wrath or red is typically what you see. Looks like Elderwood's Embrace is the choice for these green decks.
Is that a sack deck on both sides? That's interesting.
I think it might be. It looks like definitely Sunekichi's is sack.
Yeah,
the
sure.
ban, by the way, for Jyori is going to be on the green-blue deck.
Yeah, that's a shame. I would have liked to see if there was a beast deck being played. There was a 6 blue cards green deck that could also be beast, so it could just be Octopus Fog Tosser in a green deck.
It could definitely be that. I like the wells here. I like the well choice, yellow versus red. That's easy to figure out what's going on there.
Okay, so soon as 30 card deck is yellow tempo, it's not something I've actually seen that much since the latest 20 cards. But let's see what he's got with it. Versus pretty typical green, it looks like. Oh, I stand corrected. Green Rush.
Okay, yeah, there's going to be a green rush versus this yellow tempo style deck. Shaitan Demon is going to play some defense here in the upcoming turns.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty good hand for Sunekichi here. Oh, interesting that he goes forwards. I wonder if he remembers enough to know what type of rush deck this is, because that's actually kind of scary against some. I know I've tried this at some point and the opponent immediately Sagami warriored me, and I felt really bad.
Luckily, only a Grizzly coming down, but that still is a lot to deal with. Shaitan Demon, the only answer for it. Last Nightmare is a turn away, so we'll see what he chooses to do. There is one buff in hand for Jyori.
So Sunekichi's hand is pretty good here, though, if he gets a flyer. Just multiple 5 attack creatures is very efficient. Oh, this is right, so it's the green-blue deck and it's Rush. Interesting. And he's got the buff.
Yeah, maybe he decided to play it as Rush in this instance. Does use the buff, does clear off the Shaitan, and there's a 5/5 left, but it's a couple spaces away from the orb. Wind Soldier drawn. He's looking for a flyer for that Windborn.
Yeah, Sune is in a little bit of trouble here. I mean, okay, that's nice for the Flash Wind to get out of range. That makes this a lot better. And that's the Ruined Shrine. Ruined Shrine, I would say, is one of the key cards in Green Rush. Like, I mean, and you can basically see why here. He's going to play Ruined Shrine, presumably, and then immediately Octopus and Boar. Oh, no Octopus, though. That surprises me a lot.
Hanging on to the Shrine. Keeping the Octopus. Maybe wants to drop a big old 7/3 next to the orb. We'll see. Soul Drain not going to... Oh, yeah, with the Wind Soldier. That's a little clear.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to lose his 3-3. He wants to either get between the wells or get to 5 tack before he uses it.
Orphan Fugu does have a beast on board to get its jump. Okay, he does. Oh, okay. The only reason he felt comfortable doing that is because he's going to Crystal Flower that Windborn, which means it can't possibly be buffed, and he feels comfortable slamming the orb. Might see a Last Nightmare here. Yep.
Yeah, Sunekichi didn't have any lands on the wells either, so it was hard for him to collect after that.
Okay, so 4 Faeria for Jyori, that's enough to play an Octopus. With Rune and Shrine, he can go all the way up to 7, but that's not enough for what he wants to finish.
I think the Fugu was really nice here, since it has to jump without needing the land. So you can just jump it over hit after playing the Octopus next turn.
And another Demon, also a Mistral Guide, but you definitely want that extra attack right now.
So Jyori could go Rune and Shrine, Shifting Octopus, Hunt Down, Octopus fights the 5-4. That could be super strong here. There's just so much pressure coming down.
One problem is he can't jump the Fugu. Okay, so he's not going to bother.
Right.
But yeah, you can just play the Octopus in the place next to the orb. And do we see the Hunt Down?
Do we see the time run out? That was definitely...
Yep, that was a mistake.
Yeah, Jyori missed 2 damage there. But, I mean, he noticed, but yeah, this is Blitz for you. That's how it works.
That's what happens. He definitely wanted to hunt down there. It's not going to happen. Now he's punished with the Columns training. Mistral Guide follow-up, and this could have been the end of the game right here if that didn't happen.
Is this... Ooh,
it's one off.
You could draw for it if you get Grunen's Guidance, that's game. Have to do it quickly though, 10 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, don't let it happen again. If you're going to draw now. 5 seconds.
Got Jyori, please.
Okay. Not doing it. Setting himself up for a Last Nightmare. Hit the orb, hit the orb.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Alright, 1 health left.
Is this a survive? Can he... Oh,
that's it.
GG.
GG. Couple turns extra maybe than it needed to be, but he got there.
Yeah, I felt both players got quite flustered that game. Like, I feel the third forest, if that had been a lake and there was just a Shifting Octopus in play like 4 more turns, the game would have been super over. But
okay,
yeah,
so the sack deck now.
Oh, baby.
Sunekichi.
So I guess we'll now get to see if this was a green-blue rush deck or if this was a specific hand or a matchup where he wanted to rush.
Well, the Rune and Shrine would make you think that it's always going to play rush. At least I would think so.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I mean, that's cute if we're starting to see 2-color rush decks. And Grizzly Bear is a good one.
Mm-hmm. Grizzly is a really good start for this deck.
Sunekichi
knows what he's going up against.
Actually, Sunekichi's hand is insane. Why are we talking about Jyori's hand? This is godlike from Sune. Holy crap. That's insane.
Double harvesting next turn.
Oh my god, this is a nightmare for Jyori. Like, if Jyori could see Sunekichi's hand right now, he would just go and click. Like, you're not going to break this.
And I haven't seen any Emperor's Command in Jyori's deck, so dealing with the Assassin is going to be a big deal.
Oh, I really like the lake there. So that lake position lets Orphan Fugu still hit face or get to any of the wells. Whereas if he'd made a forest there, like, what's he going to play that matters? That's really nice.
Now, one of the things players were talking about when we first talked about running a Blitz tournament was that we would never run Soul Eater because when you draw it, it takes too long. But yeah, here we are with a Soul Eater.
I wonder if that's Sunekichi doubting the naysayers or if he just hasn't actually practiced this in 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's one of those two things. One of those two things. No movement here for the Assassin to do any work, so he's just going to harvest. Okay, he's building up towards that 3/3 threshold that he's looking for. Not much else to do, really.
This is actually... It's looking much better than I thought it would for Jyori. Like, because Sunekichi had to make both his deserts on one side to play the assassin this turn. Like, his wind soldiers have bad position, and he doesn't have a good forest for the Spirit of Rebirth. So his like, he's got such a powerful assassin, but it's just on the completely wrong side of the board, and it's a really big problem for him right now.
And Soldier can do some cleaning right here, and the Spirit of Rebirth will buff one of these two creatures. So down to the Soul Eater there.
Yeah. And again, like, look at the lands. Like, his Spirit of Rebirth doesn't want to be here. Neither really does his Bloom Sprite. Like, one of them wants to be on the right. I mean, and this is sort of what happens when you play against Rush. You're forced to make decisions that will give you the creatures you need now, even if it leads to somewhat awkward positions later. So I guess Deranged Monkey is one of the cards that makes him want to be playing Rush here with this deck, because, well, it's best in Rush, and it has Beast at Tribal.
Yep, only ended up as a 3/4 there, because he did Harvest from one of the wells. So a 3/4 for 4, not so great, but he needed a body.
So interesting choice there. He didn't wrangle it. He instead decided it was better to kill the 1/1. I kind of dig that. It's nice.
Drew a Grizzly off the Bloom Sprite there, only 2 cost. That's nice and juicy.
That's insane. And soon he gets to start playing Soul Eaters, and it really importantly starts getting to press the draw button. Sack generally has a quite low curve, so it's just a huge power spike when they go from drawing 1 card a turn to 2 cards a turn.
Monkey clears off the Assassin. That's finally dealt with. Here comes a big Octopus with no threat from a Death Touch.
How big is this Soul Eater? So this Soul Eater is already a 9/9. I think you just slam it at that point. Like,
looks like it's coming right in the middle, I think. Threatening face. Oh, he even sacrifices one more time just to make it an 11/11. Plays every single card in his hand down to 1 Faeria. Jyori has 5 cards in hand, and he's facing the problem.
And as you said, that Soul Eater actually threatens face. This isn't the normal control versus aggro. It's like, oh, I think I've stabilized. See you in 8 turns when I can finally walk over the board. Like, Jyori has to do something now, or the Soul Eater just ends the game.
Yep, that is a win condition. Well played, says Jyori. I think he's just done. There's really not much in his hand to do it.
Yep, he chose the worst way out to just concede.
Well, the worst way out, I think, is flame bursting your face like worse.
That was so funny. Just watching it, it's like, wait a minute.
So he is going to have the sack deck, and it looks like Jyori's going full yellow. Oh, and that's a rush deck if I ever saw one. 2.1 cost. Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby, here we go. Yeah, you're right. It's like 50% cheaper, or 33% cheaper than the previous yellow deck we saw. So Sack versus Rush. Oh wait, that's not a Rush deck. That's a Lionfish.
Now I'm
Hang on,
confused.
it's a Lionfish with a red. Okay, well, I want to see what this is.
I think it is Rush. I think it just says Lionfish in it, which I don't know. Oh no, one of the cards is gone. Do you see that? It's up his sleeve.
Oh crap. Well.
Yep, we're missing whatever that card is. I think it's a Lionfish. I'm gonna say it's a Lionfish.
Okay. So Rush versus Sack is interesting in this. If Sack has the right draw, it completely crushes Rush. Like, if it's got this, the kind of draw we saw last time, early Shaidan Assassin, early Demon Wrangler, Bone Collectors. Whereas if they get things in the right order, they can just die because they're just playing a lot of like 1/1s. This hand, I'd say it's pretty good for Sunekichi. He's got the Bone Collector, which is, especially against Yellow Rush, one of the cards that really just kills them. And he's got the Assassin. Oh, that's even better now. So he has, well, no space on the board. But once he gets space on the board, he has, yeah, good Assassin targets and still gets to keep his 2/2.
Yeah, with all these little weenies on board, the best creature Jyori can play right now is the Shaitan Demon, but even that gets cleared off fairly easily. It's just going to be a wall of units to break through. I'm surprised Jyori chose this deck versus Sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's heavily dependent on sack draw. Like, sometimes they get double Soul Eater and the village, they just die. Other times, they get, Shaitan Assassin with the Bloom Sprite into Deepwood Grizzly, and you just think, like, why did I possibly opt into this? By the way, really nice swap from Sunekichi last turn. He moved around the 2/2 and the 1/1 because he knew he was going to sack the 1/1 first. Oh my god, a Spirit of Rebirth.
A free Spirit of Rebirth. Now he has 4 in his deck.
That's insane. Golden Aviary. I mean, it's cool with Lionfish.
That's for the Lionfish. That has to be for the Lionfish, and I'm imagining some other flying creatures.
That's an interesting deck.
Salmons.
It's cool. But notably, he has no answers for this Shidan Assassin. Like, Shidan Assassin is like either the best or worst sack creature, depending on what the enemy happens to have. Like,
he says, "Look, I have a Shidan Assassin too. It's just fine."
Yeah, I mean, it can deal with the Bone Collector, which is generally really hard for Yellow Rush. But yeah, like sometimes you play a Shidan Assassin and it gets Emperor's commanded, and it's just like, oh my god. Other times it kills 2 Shidan demons. And
okay, oh, he is gonna rebirth here. He's not gonna rebirth. Okay. I'm surprised he hung on to that rebirth.
Yeah, I at a guess, I think he probably timed out.
Yeah, that was actually at the very end of his turn. It's really easy for me to forget like how little time they have. They're playing so fast.
Yeah.
There's a salmon. So Column's Prayer, number 1.
Here we are. And Jyori is sitting with 10 Faeria, so once he gets something going, it's going to start going in a really big way.
And use the Wind Soldier to clear out the Assassin, so Lionfish lives a little bit longer. Bone Collector's up 3/5.
So he chooses to hold on to the Zealous Crusader, which is... It can go either way. Like, sometimes the 4/4 lets you break the board. Other times you just wish you had kept it for the scaling. Also, yeah, speaking of Bone Collectors in the Rush matchup, yeah, this is what I mean.
And there is a 7/6 Bone Collector. That's bigger than his Zealous Crusader if he were to play it.
It's almost twice as big. It's just like, oh my god.
Monk here can hopefully draw a Column's Prayer for him. Okay, no Last Nightmares in hand. Oh, there's a Column's Prayer. Okay, here's Last Nightmare right here. Whoop.
Oh, baby.
Okay, it's a Lionfish. That's a slower Last Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to Soul Drain the 3/1 maybe? Okay, no time. So the Zealous Crusader is getting bigger, so if he somehow manages to get the Bone Collector to hit a Death Touch creature, which is looking increasingly unlikely.
Now the good news is that there's only 2 more Shidan Assassins to deal with for Jyori.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I think there's no good news, I think. Oh,
that's
actually, the good news is that Flash Salmon with Aviary is pretty insane. So that's something.
That's his key. That's the key to victory here.
Okay, so that's what's happening. So he gets to play Aviary because he has presumably 6 Salmon and 3 Lionfish. So with 9 targets, that's when you start getting value here, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad at all. Unfortunately, there's just a wall of creatures to work through. Sunekichi doesn't have a win condition out just yet, but once he draws the jackpot, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, there's a wall of creatures, and one of those walls is an 11 each. And the other has protection.
Yeah, to play around Emperor's Command, all you got to do is just buff your Shidan Assassin up to a 3/3.
Yep, 3 being the magic number of toughness, because there's a 0 attack Shidan Assassin. It's still not very good.
Okay, so there goes that protection, spending a Wind Soldier as well. So 5 Faeria to clear off that Shidan Assassin. Meanwhile, a 13/12 Bone Collector.
And he's got the Spirit of Rebirth. Oh my god, sad Spirit. I mean, he doesn't have the, he still doesn't have...
He's just dropping the Deepwood Stalker just because it's a 5/7. He doesn't need to fight anything. It's just a giant spider.
If Jyori has Doomsday, maybe that could help.
He's gonna pull the Doomsday. No, well played. I think he's gonna concede it yet again.
I can't really fault him for that one. That was pretty brutal.
Yep. Okay. So this could be game point, match point for Sunekichi. In this best of 5, these are both Japanese players squaring off in the Faeria Blitz tournament, and Jyori is going to select his last remaining deck. Alright, he knows what he's up against. It's going to be the sack deck for the 3rd time in a row. Rush didn't work.
Okay, so Jyori, it looks like, might not have sack. He might have a different take on green-yellow here. And we've got the mulligan bug again, which is a bit unfortunate.
Well, with that, I'm going to say that's another lionfish somehow.
So this is the kind of hand Sunekichi has now, where he might have just to rush. Like, imagine if this is the early turn and his opponent just goes double land, desert, 5-4, right? Like, as soon as that 5-4 kills the Bone Collector, you're in so much trouble. But that wasn't the hand he had last game, so you can see how good a player Sunekichi is, drawing his hands in the right order to mitigate the weak early game.
Yeah, and also drawing his Soul Eaters early, so that he doesn't have to wait for them later. He knows to do that. I'm surprised a Verdant Force didn't come down as a Harvester on turn 2 there for Jyori as an option, but he wants to push the pressure and play it way up next to face.
I think he's seeing the same thing. It's like, I don't want to deal with sack late. This wasn't the deck I chose. This is the only deck I had left. So I'm just going to try and kill you before you have the cards you need. And
Trips in hand.
So far, so good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sunekichi going for the full house here, but unfortunately it's the wrong game, so
come on, Wind Soldier.
Not quite as good. Yeah, one more Wind
worth
Soldier.
A lot of points. He's been slow playing. Does he get at the top? Oh.
Well, that is a really good speed bump, though. Like, this actually buys a lot of time. Potentially. Oh, well, there you go. I wonder if Jyori makes the land just to kill more of the 2/2s.
To clear 3. Ooh, Imperial Trooper in Jyori's deck. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that could be really good in this matchup, actually.
You could just double neutral out and put it out to the right there.
Yeah. So I guess we get to see if Jyori wants to try clearing these with his creatures, or if he just Emperor's Command and hits for 7. Okay, we're going aggro. Please, I think he finished his animations. Right. He +1, which was probably what he wanted to do, but I guess we'll never know. Actually, with the way this is positioned, it's really hard for the... Okay, nice. The Wind Soldier clears this, so now he can move up. Like, the problem was previously he would have blocked himself with his 1/1. Oh, how big is Soul Eater? That's pretty big for how early in the game this is.
One is threatening face, but more importantly, they're able to clear off all of Jyori's units.
So does Sunekichi just Elderwood his Vidone and go for it, or does he could buff his Maceman to kill the 6/6? Is the other option?
Yeah, if he kills one of the 6/6s,
oh, he's got the taunt.
The other one can't quite reach. Oh, taunt is nice, yeah.
Yeah, so all he needs is to hit with that Maceman. Like, if either his Maceman or his Vidone survive, he's got this. And I don't see a way to kill both. Well, actually, if he kills the Vidone, he could block. Can he kill? No, okay.
That's it. All right, we're going to game 5. Jyori toppled the sack.
Baby. Yeah, so... Yeah, that sack hand, as mentioned, was a lot more awkward. I guess he's lucky he got it against green rather than yellow, but Jyori kind of identified that his hand was just not doing anything. Just went for the throat.
Skyward Swordfish winning that game, by the way, by taunting everything away.
Yeah, Manchi's made me a convert on Skyward Swordfish. I didn't really rate it that highly, but having played some more games with it, it's actually pretty good now. It's 4 lands. I like it a lot.
Of stats, and it's versatile, and you can fly around and harvest with it. Like, it can do a lot of stuff. It's, it's not super fancy. It's just really great value.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so Jyori... Oh, he wasn't mono green, apparently. He had lionfishes in his deck. Hard to keep up. Oh, we knew that because he had swordfish as well. So I guess he's got swordfish and lionfish. I mean, lionfish pretty good in color with buffs. And Sunekichi playing, it looks like a fairly standard mono red burn, or it could be red yellow mobility. I need to get better at looking at what people are playing in the...
Yeah, in the lobby, I missed it too. But with Sheet and Brute, though, that makes you think, yep, it is red-yellow. You really don't see Sheet and Brute often in just mono-red decks.
Okay, so this is... So I like this. So with normal red burn, maybe you go the same side, just try to slow it down. But this is mobility burn. So new plan, we just want to get a trading and a flash wind and go hey, take 7. Do you have a response? If not, take 7 again.
Yep, he has a couple turns to get to that flash wind. He needs to draw the training as well. No deserts made just yet. Jyori might not. Well, no, Jyori knows that there's yellow in this deck.
Jyori actually has Laya and Runan's Guidance, so he actually has quite a lot of tools for slowing things down here.
He does have the combo, training flash wind.
Oh, baby.
Away.
Yeah, that is pretty close. And Jyori is still on only 1 forest. He's just... Like, I guess again, he's identified this as yellow-red hypermobility, and you kill that by killing them fast. You do not want to go late against that.
Voice of Truth is interesting.
I like the position on the Maceman as well. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, the only instance he's going to get use out of that is with any kind of Gift of Steel. I'm not even sure. Will he run Gift of Steels in this deck? Is that popular nowadays in red-yellow burn?
I think so, right? Like, well, it makes sense to me at least because, yeah, they can use buffs because they're normally trying to get more than from their creatures, and they play like a lot of combat. They have Scourge Flame, they have Shadim Brute, they have Grimguard. Oh, there's the Runan's Guidance used, so he's relying on Laya to, and oh my god, he has Emperor's Command as well. Jyori actually has so much heal in this deck.
This is like the worst deck that the red-yellow deck wants to go up against.
But he still has Grimguard's Baton. I mean, Fashwind training is pretty good. Like this, they could still make magic happen. And especially because it's not like Jyori can just hold.
Using like the command, yeah, not to heal, but to clear off and do 7 damage, put him on a clock. Runan comes down in this matchup. Didn't expect to see her this game.
I mean, pressure is pressure.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, this line's gonna be a problem. There is a double flame burst to deal with her. Oh man, here comes the shenanigans.
Yeah, so Sunekichi's having to spend. That's nasty. 11, and it's very hard to stop 6 more. Double flame burst, is this actually a win? If Jyori doesn't have healing or lethal here, it's just a win.
In case you missed it on the stream, he flash winded the brute away from Laya. I thought he was going to flash wind the brute towards the Laya, the other one.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. I think he's just got this, right? He's got the double flame burst. That's lethal.
Okay, I think you're right. 6 plus 5. That's it. There's nothing that can be done.
Yeah, super nice.
Get to steal.
Oh, yep. Yeah,
That's
really
it,
nice
man.
by Sunekichi to deal with a deck that had Emperor's Command, Runan's Guidance, and Laya, full for healing.
Oh my goodness, that Flashwind play I think was really awesome, and to do that in such on short notice, like just I wouldn't have caught that play. Like Flashwind.
Yeah, that was really nice.
All right, well that's it. That's for Sunekichi in this best of 5. He's gonna go on to round 4. Unfortunately, Jyori is knocked out. But he's a really good player, so it's a shame to see that happen. But we do need to move on. We have a few rounds left for you before we get to the semifinals and grand finals. I think we're going to set up our next match right now. Thank you, Chris, for casting with me. I'm going to duck out for a bit, and next match we'll have Chris and Nick, aka Aquablad.